welcome back to the channel. So it is 39 day. Okay, today we are gonna talk on a new vocabulary, and then we will memorize, summarize, whatever we can do from our side, we'll do. Okay, let's get into the video without wasting any time. So it is the first part of 39th day. Okay, so would you like to convoke anyone when you need their needs or their what help or aid, assistance? And that way you have to convoke. Because if you come to whenever there's there may be anything like controversy, or debate, there can be it's happening or around you. In that way, you have to convoke people who are like diplomatic, and they can work as an attitude person, and then that but so each and every circumstances, whatever is happening behind that around that environment, that will be how really must be uh, that must have to control under what attitude and a tenacious person. Only in that way everybody will uh, what release what the hormone of controlling over someone's even in if that is really how uh, awful and terrible. In that way there have to be uh, control under a diplomatic person. In that way we can just convoke people to what for a better, for the betterment. That's it. Okay, have you ever contravened the rule, the regulation, even even your own uh, dis- own the rule of discipline? Have you ever contravened that rule? If you have contravened that thing and that rule, in that way you might have done something actually awful with your own schedule, because you are just thinking that I had done a really I good, I'm feeling I was feeling a little bit good, but you don't know what the consequences, what kind of what benefits, things you are losing because of that things, or you will be the reason of not getting what your own mentality, your own schedule, your that behavior and that what that kind of activities will lead you somewhere where you have never imagined, and that even in that case you'll be so aggressive and hostile at yourself, at your own decision. So in that way you must have to think before doing anything wrong and terrible, really awful already. That's really matters in life. So if you can't what contravenes really precious or stunning, dazzling things, and that has also, even that has a lot of restriction, limitations, or what constraints, for things, but you are not escaping. You always have to embrace that things, and in that way you will get some really lucrative and beneficial what things from that behavior and that kind of mentality that you have created, and you are going with that mentality. In that way no one can stop you. You will actually become that person that you ever used wanted to become. Okay, but now you will become really, really you are actually going through that path, or in that way. So that's it's enough a little bit of becoming and choosing that and chasing that path. That's it. Okay, so we like to conjecture something on something, even that is really small. You like to conjecture on a small matters or something like that. Maybe that can be even a little bit how you can predict. That can be that can't be capricious, or that's even we can that can be little bit predictable, but uh, most of the things are not. Often we usually fail in everything whatever is around us. We guess wrong things, or in that way we can get the proper data, or we can go through proper elements, components, or dimension. In that way we won't have anything really how uh, really helpful, assisting, anything like that. So we must have to think deeply before choosing anything. Okay, in that way we can even we can if you like to, if you have to conjecture, even in that way you have to uh, what communicate and convey with other people, through controversy or anything like that. And I want to say you that you mustn't have to get engaged in what controversy or anything like that. Because if you guys are gonna what engage and involve in that kind of activities, in that way that will have a lot of what more and more terrible and awful situations. So in that way you mustn't have to be. So what would you like to decimate in that uh, at that time? At that time you have to decimate the someone's is which is you have already awful and terrible decisions. You're that kind of behavior. If you have in that way, you have to terminate and eliminate it from your within, from your mentality. And if a lot of things are still within you as a terrible, really threatening things, which has no beneficial benefit or advantages, in that way you have to go and you have to move forward for merits, and only in that way you can become. And you will you it is considered and will recognize that you are choosing actually a good path, really helpful path way. That's it. Okay. So wouldn't you like to disabuse something? If somebody is saying, and some people have actually they used to saying, and it is said that it is we have to follow it. We have to always go through it. We have to respect thing. We always have to follow all these things which are around us. You might have heard and you might have seen a lot of superstitions. Not only there is a lot of kind of what rules and regulation might have in the society. But what do we have to do if that is wrong, awful, terrible, and that we have to disabuse that things? Only in that case our society, even our community, and and the whole nations will move forward positivity, prosperous things are really successful. We can able to get a how what really successful life. All in that way we can become. Otherwise we will what we will even debase every rights from our own whatever that are around us, and that can be even within, that is within you. So in that way you mustn't have to detest that things. If you are detest in that way, you have to detest the position of someone who was actually engaged in corruptions, or that kind of negative activities. In that way you have to detest debase that person. That's actually necessary and crucial. Otherwise that all most of the things are really how symmetrical. How do you what kind of perception and thoughts comes within from your mind when you talk about when we come to talk about symmetrical things. It's not neither it's realistic nor it's how it's just imaginary. We just fall into imagination when you have nothing, when we can't get something in real. In that way we just imagine how would it would look, how my life would look, how my life would be when we have this life when I was with that person. In that way we will have a lot of aspects and the thoughts in our that kind of thoughts occur in our mind, but we still what well, one day we have to come out from that illusion of that kind of imagination, and then we will just how really that situation will become so terrible. So we mustn't have to anticipate and expect anything from other people, and it would be better if you not if we guys are not gonna what or anticipate and imagine anything from other people. We have to clandestine that thing within us. And even nobody's come to uh, even people come to know about your clandestine things, but you mustn't have to say it among the people, because they will insult you and what insist you to get you even again what involved in that, get engaged in that kind of activity. But you mustn't have to say it. Firstly I want to say this thing. In that way what you have to even your everything must be how your own mentality, your every work must be cultured. In that way you'll become that person, and you have to always have to be. Even your this journey is really how it's August, but we are not going ahead and moving forward with a tiny mentality. It's really it's not devastating, but it's really enormous. We can't even think. It's out of our imaginations.